I knew that experience was necessary, and that's what I was after. I was very vague.
It's been 35 years since the legendary Laurence Olivier passed away, but the rumors surrounding his personal life have never fully quieted. Now his son, Richard Olivier, has spoken out to address some of the speculations that have circulated for decades. Today we're taking a closer look into Laurence Olivier's life, his family, and his stories that have long captivated the public.
I think the first film I made for which I had any respect was Wuthering Heights, probably. And then there was Rebecca,
Not
which
the
was
Yellow
also...
Ticket?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Lawrence's career. Laurence Olivier's ascent to stardom reached its pinnacle during the 1940s and 50s. With a string of acclaimed performances, both on stage and in film, he became synonymous with Shakespearean drama and earned a reputation as one of the finest actors of his generation. His portrayal of Hamlet in 1948 was a career-defining moment, earning him an Academy Award for Best Actor and solidifying his status as a master of classical roles. Olivier had an extraordinary ability to blend intensity with subtlety, creating performances that resonated with both audiences and critics alike. Reflecting on his own approach, Olivier once remarked, "I take a simple view of life, keep your eyes open, and get on with it." Olivier's contributions extended beyond his acting. He became a director and producer, further cementing his influence in the world of theater and film. His 1944 film, Henry V, was not only a critical success, but a major cultural achievement. Created during the height of World War II, the film was seen as a patriotic call to arms, inspiring British audiences with its depiction of heroism and valor. Olivier's mastery of Shakespearean dialogue, combined with his powerful physical presence, made him the ideal actor to bring these larger-than-life characters to the screen. Kenneth Tynan, a leading theater critic, famously once said of Olivier, "He was the greatest actor of the 20th century, bar none." Beyond Shakespeare, he also explored contemporary roles, showcasing his versatility in films like The Entertainer and Marathon Man. His ability to shift between classical and modern roles, embodying characters with such precision, made him a sought-after talent in both Britain and Hollywood. Despite his growing fame, Olivier remained focused on the work itself, driven by a belief in the transformative power of acting. Personal life. Laurence Olivier's personal life was complex and multifaceted. He was married 3 times, each one reflecting different phases of his life. His first was to actress Jill Esmond in 1930. While the union began with optimism, Olivier later admitted the relationship lacked the deep emotional connection he craved. They had a son, Tarquin, but the marriage was strained, and Olivier's career ambitions soon outpaced the stability of his home life. It was during his marriage to Esmond that he met actress Vivien Leigh, with whom he began a passionate and highly publicized affair. Leigh was also married at the time, but their connection was undeniable on-screen and off. The two eventually divorced their spouses and married in 1940. The marriage became the subject of intense media scrutiny, particularly because of Leigh's struggles with mental health. Olivier remained devoted to her for many years, but as her condition worsened, it became clear the relationship was faltering. On this period, he once remarked, "I couldn't save her, and it was the most difficult thing in my life." In 1961, Olivier married actress Joan Plowright, and it was in his third and final marriage that he seemed to find a sense of peace. Plowright was a steadying influence in his life, and together they had 3 children, including their son Richard. Unlike his earlier marriages, which were marked by the demands of fame and personal turmoil, Olivier's relationship with Plowright offered him the stability he had long sought. Quote, "John was the rock," he once said in an interview, reflecting on the importance of her grounding presence in his later years. Though his personal life was often tumultuous, his devotion to his family never wavered. He was, by many accounts, a loving father, deeply connected to his children despite the demands of his career. Richard Olivier, a son's admiration. Richard Olivier, Laurence's son with Joan Plowright, always spoke with deep admiration for his father. Growing up in the shadow of such an iconic figure could have been overwhelming, but Richard instead saw it as a privilege. He often expressed how much joy his father brought to their family, describing him as warm, loving, and dedicated to those he cared about. Quote, "He was a joy to be around," Richard once shared, reflecting on how his father's presence filled their home with energy and life. He was not only struck by his father's talent, but also his unwavering work ethic. He recalled how Laurence had a daily ritual of swimming half a mile, no matter what challenges or obligations the day might hold. This commitment to routine was a reflection of the discipline Olivier brought to every aspect of his life. Richard admired this trait, seeing it as central to his father's success in both his career and role as a father. Quote, "He was devoted to us, just as he was devoted to his work," Richard remembered fondly. He also talked about Laurence's later years, saying, quote, "We all got more time with him and appreciated appreciated him more when we were in our teens. I also worked with him quite a bit, assisting him on the set for a few weeks on The Boys from Brazil and A Little Romance. In his own life, Richard followed in his father's footsteps, becoming a theater director. While he chose a different path in the world of theater, Richard often spoke about the influence his father had on his creative process. He admired how Laurence would immerse himself completely in a role, studying every nuance until he understood the character from the inside out. Tarquin Olivier. Tarquin Olivier, Laurence's son from his first marriage to Jill Esmond, had a more complicated relationship with his father. As the eldest child, Tarquin saw his father's rise to fame from a different perspective, often marked by distance. Despite the challenges of their relationship, Tarquin remained fiercely protective of his father's legacy, particularly when it came to defending him against damaging rumors. In recent years, one of the most prominent of these rumors revolved around Laurence Olivier's sexuality, with claims suggesting the actor had been secretly gay. These rumors were exacerbated by earlier biographies that hinted at relationships Olivier allegedly had with men during his career. But Tarquin firmly rejected these assertions. He was outspoken in his support of Philip Ziegler's 2013 biography of Laurence Olivier, which he praised for setting the record straight on the issue. Tarquin felt that Ziegler's work gave a more accurate portrayal of his father's life, particularly in its dismissal of the unsubstantiated claims about Olivier's private affairs. Quote, "The rumors were hurtful, and they simply weren't true," Tarquin asserted, standing by his family's consistent denial of the allegations. For him, Ziegler's biography provided a crucial corrective to the sensationalist narratives that had previously gained traction. Tarquin's defense of his father's legacy extended beyond these rumors. He had a deep respect for Olivier's contributions to the arts and his monumental impact on the world of theater and film. As a film producer and author, Tarquin understood the pressures of public life and felt a responsibility to protect the dignity of his father's memory. Tarquin acknowledged that while there had been emotional distance between them at times, he remained deeply proud of Laurence's achievements. Quote, "He was a remarkable man," Tarquin once said, "and the stories that have been told about him should honor the truth of who he was." Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Laurence Olivier? Let us know in the comments section below.